Hey everyone, welcome to another Pioneer video here on Magic Arena. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and there's a link to my Ko-fi account in the description, so if you're able to support the channel that way, it is greatly appreciated. So today we are running some Izzet Artifacts. So we have kind of tinkered around with a Ensoul Artifact build in this meta with Edge of Eternities before, but we haven't run some of the new cards in it, so we are going to try both Pinnacle Emissary, which is the 3/3 for 3 that has warp of blue or a red, and whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colourless drone artifact creature token with flying, and this token can only block creatures with flying. So this probably, it's not as powerful in Pioneer as it is in some of those formats which have an abundance of 0-mana artifacts. Modern, Legacy, I mean, this is seeing play in Vintage, I think. So yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, more often than not, you'll be warping it in, getting lots of value off it, and then maybe casting it again later if your kind of mana situation allows. Then we got 2 copies of Tezzeret, Cruel Captain. So 4 loyalty, a 3-mana Planeswalker. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on it. So in a deck like this, those will build up quite quickly. 0, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. -3, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand. So a lot of targets in this deck for that. And then -7, which, given the kind of deck this is, it's probably more achievable than a lot of Planeswalker Ultimates. Basically, you get a kind of mini Ensoul Artifact at the beginning of combat on your every turn. You put up 3 +1/+1 counters on an artifact, and it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature, if it's not already a creature. So yeah, it kind of fits with the theme of the deck. Obviously, we have our Ensoul Artifacts. They can go on like drone artifact creature tokens as well as ornithopters, and kind of you get that 5/5 flying. Deck also runs Kori Steelcutter, so it's got that kind of secondary ability to just play lots of spells. You can play Kori Steelcutter on turn 2 and follow it up with a Mox Amber or an Ornithopter. And yeah, that can pretty quickly close out the game if it's unanswered. We're also running Emry, so yeah, this deck is running along multiple different axes, but Emry is a cheap card when you're running artifacts that can also kind of give you more artifacts to cast if it sticks around from the graveyard. So yeah, no infinite loops or anything cheeky shenanigans like that, but still a very good card. Shrapnel Blast is a good finisher in the deck, and then yeah, just our cheap artifacts. Nutrient Block, which we have run before, just another good indestructible artifact that we could potentially target with an Ensoul to go alongside our Darksteel Citadels. And then a couple of copies of Memory Guardian as well. Only running 19 lands, just because it is quite low to the ground. So that may be not enough. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Like realistically, like, this doesn't cost 5, this doesn't cost 3, this doesn't cost 3, this doesn't cost 3. So kind of the curve tops out with Tezzeret, but let's see if that actually works out in practice. Sideboard, so some more cheap artifacts. Tormod's Crypt is Graveyard Hate that is free. So yeah, pretty good. Annul, don't really want people playing artifacts or enchantments against us. Spell Pierce and change the equation, some more counter spells to go alongside the Metallic Rebuke. Unable to Scream is just a good way of kind of getting an annoying creature out of the way in a way that kind of neutralizes it and doesn't cause us any more problems. Then Pithing Needle, shutting down particular cards which are annoying. And then we do have 1 copy of Basilisk Collar as well, just if we need a creature with Death Touch and Lifelink, then we can do that, just to give us the life gain or the ability to just punch through. The combination of Indestructible with Death Touch and Lifelink is pretty spicy. So yeah, that is the deck. Is it Artifacts? Is it Ensoul? Could be one or the other. But yeah, it's kind of doing both. So let's see if that is a viable strategy. So thank you very much for watching. Let's take it onto the ladder. Okay, this isn't really in the theme of what we're doing, but like turn 2 Steel Cutter, turn 3 Steel Cutter, it's hard to say no. Doesn't have any of our new cards, but you know what? We'll run with it. Okay, now it's turn 2 Steel Cutter and Activate as well, so that's pretty good. Okay, the opponent's on Rakdos, probably some sort of Demons deck. Okay, we can also get a Nutrient block active in the not too distant future. So yeah, at the moment this is simply a 0-mana artifact with no text, but that is fine. We may well be able to turn it on slightly later. Yeah, if they start trading 1-for-1 with my Ikoria Steel Cutter tokens, then that's a pretty good sign for us. Delightful. Okay, let's play Steel Cutter number 2. Follow it up with a Nutrient block. Now we can just get super aggy with the opponent's life total, because we're going to be able to, next turn, re-trigger Steel Cutter. So they go to 4, so they're still on 14. Now we got some interesting choices here as to, we could Shrapnel Blast away Shieldred. I mean, with Ensoul Artifact, there's interesting choices we've got here. I think let's play another Nutrient block. Sack it. Take out their Shieldred now. Hit them down to 4. Cool. Okay, well that worked out pretty well. So yeah, the opponent's on Rakdos Demons, so I think a null is pretty good here. It hits FOMO, it hits Fable if they're running it, and it hits Unholy Annex. Change the equation, similarly probably quite good. What is less good here? I quite like Shrapnel Blast as an answer to Shieldred. Maybe Ornithopter dies too easily to a Fatal Push. I could be convinced to play an Unable to Scream as well. Maybe take out 2 Metallic Rebukes on the draw and stick in a couple of Unable to Scream. Actually, yeah, let's do it like that. Because it's a good answer for Shieldred, it's a good answer for Demon tokens, if you just turn them into O2s. That don't really do anything. It sounds slightly awkward in terms of I need to actually draw some artifacts to Ensoul, but let's assume that we will. It's on a mull to 5. Okay. Another Ikoria Steel Cutter. Well, we're not short of mana here. Maybe this should have been a mulligan. I don't know. I was hoping we might draw something a little better than just more interaction. It's entirely possible the opponent seen the Steel Cutter and just pieced out. Which would be a shame, because actually I think they're not in a bad spot here. My hand is not good. Yeah, I'll just play Emery, I think. But yeah, I don't think they're coming back. But yeah, here I would play Emery, middle 4, and then yeah, just hope to hit something like a Mox Amber next turn if it survives. Just get a bit more mana online. And yeah, if we did have the third mana, obviously we could unable to scream that, and that would trigger our Steel Cutter. But bit of a shocking hand. Okay, so yeah, we would have, if this survived, which is would be, if the opponent was still here, would be a big if. Then yeah, we could target Amber, at least get that onto the battlefield and start generating a bit more mana. If that died, I think we'd be pretty much just desperate for a third land. Or something that would let us trigger Steel Cutter. But yeah, I think this one is over. The opponent has gone. They did not cope with seeing Steel Cutter two games in a row, which, you know, on some level, fair enough. It's not really our primary game plan either, but Ooh, this one's an interesting one, isn't it? This is really tough. This could be great, or it could be horrible, depending on if I just draw a second land. So Pinnacle Emissary gives me an immediate 1/1, potentially, or just play Nutrient Block. I think I'm going to have to get rid of this one, unfortunately. Okay, this is almost the same hand, but just better, so, you know, we'll run with that. So I think we can probably just put back Nutrient Block for the moment. Is that mad? Yeah, no, let's put back... Let's put back Steel Cutter, actually, for the time being. We'll do it like this. So we'll give ourselves a 1/1. Send that away. Okay, experiment 1 makes me just want to stick an Ensoul Artifact on this 1/1 and go to town, which I think I will. Yep. Ooh, Emery's good. Okay, well, I'll attack. Play Emery. Play Nutrient Block. Okay. Fine. Okay, so they're on 8. So I can attack them down to 3. I need to be able to play something else. How many artifacts have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, I think that works out pretty well. So I can play Pinnacle Emissary. Tap Emery. Memory Guardian costs just 1. And that should be enough to survive. Yeah, they might have Coco at instant speed here. I think that's fine. The point is that my 5/5 needs to survive. Which they could kill it with the initiate, but that would pretty much be the whole turn. Okay, I got a 5. Interesting. Okay. Alright, well, they didn't keep me thinking about it, at least. So the opponent's on multicolour humans. Which is a good deck, I think, against what we're doing. Pithing Needle, no. Basilisk Collar is probably actually quite decent here. Just as a for the tempo swing. Change the equation, I think, is also good. I've got a lot of cheap creatures. Quarry Steelcutter's fine. Maybe Tezzeret's probably a little on the slow side on the draw. So is Emery. Yeah, let's stick with that. Oh, all right. If you insist, I shall play this way. Okay, Bound Liberator's pretty good. So am I offering them up a Steel Cutter to destroy? I think I probably am. Red, huh? And a Kite Sail Larcenist. Okay, that's pretty good, though I'm not unhappy to see the treasure, to be honest. Fine. Yep, let's play another Steel Cutter. Follow it up with a Memory Guardian. I think I'll hold it back as a blocker here. Now I do have Shrapnel Blast available to me. That's fine. That's more annoying. Yep, they're definitely out-tempoing me here. Okay, so let's play Mox Amber. Emery. I think we need to Shrapnel Blast something, which we can't. Okay, in which case, let's just eat the nutrient block. Gain 3 life. Play an Ornithopter as a blocker. Pass the turn. What's their last card? It's a Reflector Mage. That's very sad. Am I just going to 1? I can't really, because then I can't do anything. Yeah, I think I've got to give up the Ornithopter, unfortunately. Go to 4. So I could play another Steel Cutter. That doesn't really do anything. No, I think they've got me here. I just could not draw a land to save my life there. Which, to be fair, is a problem that I thought might happen with this deck. Okay, well... Change the equation is definitely better on the play. I'll trim a couple of Metallic Rebukes. Have Tezzeret back in. Yep, Reflector Mage continues to be a good card in even many, many years after it was printed. Okay. This is what I refer to as now Plan A hand. Yeah, let's not play the Nutrient block yet. Let's see if we can double trigger. Sure thing. It's all Steel Cutter all the time here. Yep, need that 3rd land, please. Okay, that's not a 3rd land, but it will do in terms of what we need to here, so... Yep. Fair. Land, please, Your Honour. No? Alright, fine. Who needs one anyway? Okay, in which case we'll Shrapnel Blast. Sacking the Ornithopter. Take out that before it can destroy either of my steel cutters. Alright. Yep, Guardian of Thraben's quite annoying. Yeah, getting absolutely butchered by my lack of land here. Are we attacking or are we just chilling? Yeah, I think we've got to attack here. Okay, well, any mana source wins me the game next turn with Shrapnel Blast. And I have drawn, what, quite a lot of cards for no mana. It kind of has to be a land here, doesn't it? Because Ensoul Artifact doesn't do it for me, so I might as well just throw away the Ornithopter, because then at least I might get 2 turns, possibly. Ridiculous. Okay, let's eat the Nutrient Block, draw a card. Okay, that is a land, so I'll play that. Now I just need to survive on 13 life, which should be doable. He says. Now actually might be quite tough, I think, if they attack with everything, which they may well. No, okay, they've chickened out a little here, which is good. So yeah, let's just block. Take 8. And we'll throw Mox Amber at their face. Well, that was much more painful than it needed to be, but we did get there. Well, it's Tezzeret, so I want to make Tezzeret happen. Also, this is a reasonable hand. Steel Cutter on turn 2. Always assuming the opponent doesn't interact with us. Oh no! They're interacting with me. Typical. Okay. In which case I shall Respond in kind. So my metallic rebuke is now active. It's interesting. Okay, so I could play Tezzeret, which I think is fine. I think let's go grab an artifact.
This will suffice for now.
Let's maybe grab a Citadel. Or are we grabbing an Ornithopter? Yeah, let's take Ornithopter here, I think. Let's just flood the board a little. Start growing Tezzeret. Shame he doesn't have a... Being colourless, he doesn't affect Mox Amber in any way. Okay. Well, they got rid of him, but...
Ascension continues elsewhere.
I'll play the Emissary. Get another 1-1. What does this do? Sack and draw a card. Sacrifice, return a creature to its owner's hand, draw a card. Okay, that's not bad. So yeah, that's probably what we want to be doing here. I'll send Shieldred back. And Shrapnel Blast is a good answer to Shieldred in a moment. If they simply replay her. Yep. Just another Citadel is a little bit sad. So they're probably holding Fatal Push here, and there is a question about whether I want to, if they try and use it to kill my Emissary. Or it's just the Mutavault activation that's holding priority. I don't know. It's a black deck. They almost certainly have Fatal Push. They always do. Okay, maybe not. Okay, well, I've got my Metallic Rebuke, so they can't play anything too scary. Nope. Cool, cool. Okay, got to tempo them out there with Pinnacle Emissary. Did a good job. Okay, so mono black, probably mono black demons. So I think a null is decent. Spell Pierce is reasonable. I think we can trim Ornithopter. Yeah, probably sideboard similarly to how we sideboarded against the Rakdos Demons list. Maybe put in a couple of Unable to Scream on the draw. Trim Shadow Spear. Trim a Memory Guardian. Maybe actually let's trim 2 Metallic Rebukes on the draw. Keep our Shadow Spear. Keep our Memory Guardian. Because a 3/4 flying for like 1 mana, not easily answered by either Fatal Push or Go for the Throat. It's potentially pretty good, actually. Ooh, there. Admiral Adama. It's an interesting hand. I think it's a keepable one. It's potentially a turn 2 Memory Guardian. Yeah, thanks. Turn 1. Yep, turn... I think I want an Null next turn, so it could counter Blade of the Oni. I'm not hugely fussed about doing that. I'd rather counter Annex. So I think let's just play Nutrient Block. Hold Mox Amber. Okay, probably not so relevant now. Okay, they didn't take... Ooh, now this is tough. They didn't take the Annul, so maybe they don't have Annex. Is that a risk I'm willing to take? So I could play Amber, follow it up with Memory Guardian, and then I've got quite an aggressive turn 3 with Ensoul Artifact, even if they do play Annex. Yeah, go on. Okay, they did have the Annex, but... And there is quite a large but here. They are... going to get clobbered for quite a lot of damage here. And I've got a Null. Which, you know, it's not the best counterspell, but it is a counterspell. They might have Arch Enemy's Charm for Nutrient Block, which would be a shame. But if they've just got removal for the Memory Guardian. Interesting, interesting. I wonder why they did that. Okay, well, let's give ourselves an Ottawara as well. So they go to 3. Annex will put them to 1. Interesting. So I could save my Nutrient Block with Ottawara. Or I could just take the card when they kill it.
I win. You're telling me what you know about the Raven Man.
Yeah, I think I'll just take the card. I draw. And to be honest, they've still got the problem that their Annex is about to kill them. And like, if they play a demon, I'll just put it back in their hand. So actually, I think let's just say go. Like if they play Blade, I can put it back in their hand. I can counter it rather. If they play Mutavault, when they turn it into a creature, I can put it back in their hand. Yeah, I think I've got them here.
Don't overthink things.
What am I discarding? I think I'll discard the Annul just in case I need another turn, and Steel Cutter is a thing. Okay, I don't really see how that helps you. But sure. Now what? Fair enough. Oh, well, we did actually see Tezzeret come down that game, so, you know, that's something. Okay, this is a potential turn 2 Ensoul, or turn 3 on Darksteel Citadel, kind of depending on what they've got. So they're playing Yorion, which may well be a control deck, which I don't love. We are on the play. Triome, huh? Okay. Let's go. And after this, got nothing. Yep. Wow, yeah, I've really got nothing. Yeah, well, that went horribly wrong. I mean, like, trying to... I mean, Darksteel Citadel would not have died to Leyline Binding, I suppose. Okay, well... Let's try again, shall we? Okay, Cornucopium I can cope with. Banishing Verse is infinitely more annoying. Yeah, the OP's had very good answers for everything I've tried to do here, so let's not worry too much. Yep. Yeah, not a lot we can do about this, unfortunately. Pillage. Yeah, we'll scoop this one up. That is a shame. Okay, so Annul, Spell Pierce. Probably in place of Shrapnel Blast. Don't think we need that. Change the equation does snag a Beanstalk, but then so does Annul and Spell Pierce. Yep. It's an interesting hand. Probably a keep. Or is it? I don't know, it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, maybe let's send this one away. Don't love this one either, but I think I'm kind of stuck with it. Let's pop back Quarry Steel Cutter for now. My god, it's almost like being in Modern. Yeah, this isn't really going very well, but we've had to keep some pretty rough hands. I think mulliganing that 7 was the right choice, and the opponents just had the perfect answer for everything. So I'll play a Steel Cutter. Keep attacking. See, I'm getting nived here. Yeah. Oh no, Shiko. With a Vanishing Verse. Oh, fair enough. There goes my Steel Cutter. It's the only target they've got, so... Rip. Okay, I'll play Pinnacle Emissary. Pass the turn. Yeah, the opponent's really trying my patience. I think this is probably a horrific matchup for the Artifacts deck. So much exile-based removal. Just answers for days. Let's eat our nutrients. That is terrible. Could I please stop drawing Steel Cutters with no way of triggering them, please? Okay, Fable of the Mirror Breaker it is. Okay, yeah, this went pretty horribly wrong. I suppose we could double Steel Cutter here, which gives us something. Trouble is, they're going to be able to... They can blink Shiko, play Maelstrom Pulse again. Yeah, that was pretty horrible. Oh well, it was a good 3-0 up until then. I knew I should have played that fourth game. I was thinking about it. I was like, have I still got time? And then I decided to. Shouldn't have done it. Should have just left it. Oh well. Land. Land. A lot of land. Mythic land cycle. Don't love having a mythic land cycle. Nobody asked for that. Beyond the Quiet. Yeah, exile-based removal now. It's far too common. Mythic wildcard, love to see it. And another Dominion Bracelet. One day that might be good. Yeah, on the whole, it kind of got absolutely massacred by Niftalite there. Mind you, yeah, but we didn't have good hands. The opponent had perfect answers, which maybe that deck just does against what we're doing, but yeah, didn't feel like it was at its best. Pinnacle Emissary was impressive there throughout a lot of those games. Tezzeret we didn't see a huge amount of, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it's still a pretty solid build. Maybe Emery is the kind of weak link here. It felt like it wasn't doing a huge amount. Steel Cutter was still great. But yeah, an interesting build. Certainly one worth thinking about. So yeah, here's the deck list one more time. It's in the description as usual, so let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Contribute to the Coffee account if you can. And I'll see you next time.